What's good, kings and queens? So this is a quick video I decided to piece together. Pretty much boxing's first pay-per-view of the year since COVID. And oh boy, that's a hefty pay-per-view price to pay, but we'll get to that by the end of the video. Let's discuss first the card itself. So to justify for the hefty price, PBC put together a rather meaningful card with guaranteed excitement for the most part. We have 3 fights that are still pending approval according to BoxRec due to medical tests, but I'll go through them anyway. The first fight is WBO bantamweight champion John Casmaro versus Duke Mika. Casmaro was supposed to face earlier this year Naoya Inoue in a huge unification bout, but due to the whole pandemic, the fight was put off to a hold. This is a stay busy fight, but also a risky one as well. Duke Mika is ranked number 11 by the WBO. His record is 24-0 with 19 knockouts. He held the British Commonwealth title, WBC International, which I like to think of it as we're putting you on the shelf to wait belt, and the WBO African belt. So I would say he's done a lot and he's well deserved. How he will fare up against a world-class opponent such as John Casmaro. Now, the one detail that alarms me, he's not only from Ghana, but he's from Accra, Ghana. Accra, Ghana has produced a world champion at least once a decade for well over half a century. One of the most concentrated in the world of boxing talent being produced. So he should not be slept on. I know this will be a great match. I definitely be looking forward to watching. One thing I hope that doesn't happen is what I have stated in a couple of my earlier videos, the absolute horrendous officiating towards African nationalists. I'm talking about fighters from the continent of Africa. They never get the fair shake. It's always a combination of refereeing and judging, sometimes even both. It's a topic that's not really discussed much at all, and it's pretty sad, really.
This is his second time to America, and this is the same thing that happened.
I don't know why. Especially boxers from Africa, I don't know why this happened to them every time. He never won him, he never do anything. And it's like I'm fighting the referee and I'm fighting him. It's like he's trying to be a racist. I need a fair match, and right now there's no anything fair. It's like whenever a boxer from Africa fighting, they always try to cheat him.
That being said, this is a good matchup and I can't wait. The next card is Luis Niri versus Aeron Alameda for the vacant WBC Super Bantamweight title. Now, I have a lot to say about Niri, mostly not positive. I'm gonna save it for another time and keep things short. So this is Niri's first official fight at Super Bantamweight. Both guys are undefeated. Niri has quite the heavy hands, but it will be his first test against a full-size Super Bantamweight. Now, to be honest, I don't know much about Aeron, but I would like to give him the benefit of the doubt. Juan Francisco Estrada was virtually unknown by the boxing public in the build-up to the Roman Gonzalez fight, with people saying some pretty bad things about the man. I'm not gonna jump the gun because you never know. Could be another Estrada story. All his fights have been in Mexico. This is his second fight in the States. Both guys on paper are rather even in size. Alameda has a slight reach advantage over Niri. This is Niri's first fight with new trainer Eddie Reynoso. Niri is rather undisciplined and doesn't seem to not really care, and his awful attempts making weight has reflected that, resulting in him being permanently banned from fighting in Japan. Reynoso is the trainer of Canelo Alvarez, and his team does not take any BS. Canelo is their guy, and if you are not following the strict rules and doing your job and not messing around, they're gonna give you the old boot. This fight here, you're either going to see the unlocked full potential of Niri or the worst. It will definitely be an exciting TV-friendly match. Niri should win this fight, but I will not be surprised if you see an upset. Third fight on this card, you got 20-0 Brandon Figueroa versus 15-1 Damian Vasquez for the WBA Super Bantamweight title. From the looks of it, I feel like they're trying to set up a unification bout between Figueroa and Niri. Now, I've seen plenty of this on PBC cards, but the unifications never really happen. They make more money keeping these guys as champion rather than having just one champ with multiple belts. So I have low expectations. His opponent Damian Vasquez Vazquez. He's ranked number 247 in the world, according to BoxRec. This fight is tailor-made for Brandon to win, but I would like to give Vazquez the benefit of the doubt as well. Brandon's style is very similar to his brother's, and they are come-forward, volume punchers, very TV friendly, but they both get hit too much for their own good. If Damian can somehow get Brian to fight off his back foot, we may see an interesting fight. Fourth fight is between former unified champion Daniel Roman versus former WBA bantamweight champion Carlos Payano. Both guys are coming off a loss, but out of the two, Roman is a much fresher guy. Despite being knocked out by Niri in the 9th round, he still put up a rather good fight, giving Niri some trouble. Depending on what Payano comes in, the fight really can go either way. The co-main event, Jermall Charlo versus Jason Rosario. To be honest, this fight should be the main event. I don't know why it's not. This fight is for the WBC, WBA, IBF, and vacant lineal title. If they were able to scoop up the WBO, it would have been for the undisputed title. Not taken away from the main event, but this fight is far more meaningful. That all being said, a Charlo win here, he should receive the credit he deserves. If you watch my Charlo versus Hurd preview video from last year, it really could have been a lot sooner if he decided to take the risk and unify with number 1 ranked Erislandy Lara, then with Hurd for the IBF, or unified with Hurd when he had all those titles. Instead, you saw Hurd come out of nowhere and upset Tony Harrison for the IBF title, beat Austin Trout, then take the giant risk unifying with Lara, picking up the WBA title. You had a big fight to be made right then and there, but instead they matched Charlo against Harrison, which I can't even find from any articles stating he was a mandatory or not. Definitely a missed opportunity to get his due from majority of the boxing public. This is a tough fight to call here. Rosario is a big dude and got heavy hands. Charlo should definitely use his reach advantage and stay away from fighting in on the inside and off the ropes. I feel like if Charlo plays his trap cards right, he may have a good chance of catching Rosario cold and putting him away early. If not, it's going to be a tough fight. But the one true advantage Charlo has is experience in the championship rounds. Rosario has never gone 12, so it will be very interesting how things go. The main event is between Jermall Charlo versus number 4 ranked in the world, Sergiy Derevyanchenko. Now, like I said earlier, for what is on the line, I think this should have been the co-main event. Jermall is making his 2nd title defense. This is Sergey's 3rd crack at the title. This is an incredibly tough matchup here. The sad part is when the fight between him and Jacobs was announced. Without doing any research looking at the world ranks or the belt organization ranks, casual boxing fans labeled this fight a cherry and put down Jacobs. Then again, when Golovkin had to face him. This man earned his spot in the world rankings and the belt organization rankings as a mandatory, actually resulting in Golovkin to be stripped by the IBF in 2018. He still ended up fighting Sergey, but you clearly see why it was the right decision to just not fight the man yet and let the IBF do their thing, because that would be too much of a risk since the Canelo rematch is still supposed to happen later that year. To tell you how close this matchup is, the odds on Sergey is only at plus 150. Sergey is a rough fighter, TV friendly opponent with actual boxing skills, because you can be TV friendly and just be entertaining brawler with no skills at all. This is Charlo's biggest test yet. I have it at 50-50, it can go either way. Now to conclude the video, is this $75 pay-per-view worth it? For the most part, this is a well put together undercard with guaranteed entertainment and no snoozers. If you care more about the diverse undercard and you're a Charlo fan, I would say it's worth it if you can split the bill with some friends. If you like the undercard but don't like the Charlos, it's a 50-50 because there are people who pay for pay-per-views just to see the guy lose. If you are one of those guys, you may actually have your money's worth. If you don't care about the Charlos but you are interested in the undercard, I don't think it's worth the $75. $50 at the most. In my eyes, this card at first glance, looking at the poster, it's not attractive enough to be $75, especially during a pandemic, quite insulting to most boxing fans. But when you actually look into the details of each matchup, and my love for the lower weight classes, I think it's a rather solid card, and if it wasn't during a pandemic, I would say it's worth the $75. During these times, I think $50 is much more appropriate. 5 friends, $10 a piece, 2 friends, $25 a piece. It's a perfect balance. When I saw the prices for the Tyson vs. Jones match announced, not sure if it was official or rumored, most comments I saw, people would rather pay for that due to its lower price of $50. With all that being said, this is a preview of Charlo vs. Derevyanchenko. For more preview videos like these, be sure to like, share, and if you're new, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram for more video updates, memes, news, edits, whatever. I'm Alpha Sancho, and I'm out.